Hello everyone, welcome back to Grow Roots. This is Shannon and today I will be taking you on my March 2024 backyard garden tour. I am starting off right here at this corner of the garden to show you a brand new, I guess you could call it garden art that I have that has been added. This is a beautiful gift given to me by my niece Rachel and her husband Eric, and it is a memorial to our dog Roscoe, who passed away a couple of weeks ago. He was 15, almost 15, and just a treasure to our family and a huge loss. And so she got this metal garden art from Etsy, and it was custom made using a picture of Roscoe, and the shop owner cuts it to look just like your dog and then puts your dog's name on it, as well as the birth year and the year that they passed away. And it's just a beautiful memorial to Roscoe. I'm not sure that this is exactly where Roscoe is going to end up, but it is beautiful right in here in front of what's left of my daffodils, which are pretty much out of bloom at this point. You may see this in future garden tours, not necessarily in this location, but I wanted to show it to you, and I will put a link to the Etsy shop where you could purchase this if you would like to purchase one of your own for one of your animals that has been a part of your family and has now passed on. But just beautiful, I love it. But here we are in the garden. It is kind of a cloudy day and we just had the irrigation go off, so you see things are a little bit wet, but what a transformation this yard is starting to make. I am so excited for this growing season. Starting off right here, well, who can ignore Miss Chloe? She is our backyard garden cat. She has chosen us and we have kind of adopted her and started feeding her, and she is just an absolute love. She will probably be in all of my garden tours in the backyard in the future. So and Bear is joining me this morning as well, but yeah, he's going away, he's done. Okay, so here we start off at Mr. Goodbud sedum. It is really growing, probably one of the fastest growing things I have in the garden right now. And this just, it's absolutely beautiful. I love its bright pink blooms in the fall. You can kind of see what that will look like. Just absolutely beautiful plant. Love it. I have a dianthus here that is also growing like crazy. This is grown from seed. It is, I think, double pink Sweet William from Botanical Interest. I grew it from seed last year and I have not seen it flower yet. It doesn't flower its first year, and then it flowers the second year, and then it's done, honestly. Kind of like maybe foxglove. But I'm growing more seedlings so I can add more to the garden this year, so I can enjoy blooms this year, and then maybe more blooms next year as well, and by adding more to the garden. But it's, you know, forming these beautiful stems, and I just love it. I'm very excited to see it start blooming. Over here, along this edge here, I have dwarf pink Mexican petunia, and they are coming along really, really nicely. And over here I have one of my favorite plants ever. It is double play candy corn spirea by Proven Winners, and it started these like bright red. The new growth is bright red, and so in late winter, this plant was covered with tiny little bright red leaves. It looked like it was blooming, honestly. And then as the growth is maturing, it's turning yellow and orange. And then down here in the center, you can tell this is the older growth, I guess you could say, and it's green. And once this new growth comes in and it kind of stops a little bit, it will all turn green. But then I will see bright purple blooms begin on it. It's just an awesome plant. It stays rounded, 2 feet by 2 feet. You can pretty much have space for this in any garden, and just a great plant to have for sure. Over here I have an Echinacea purpurea that is popping up, and then I think this is a zinnia seedling. I had zinnias here last year, so they have reseeded themselves. I do have some kind of seedling popping up here. and I'm not exactly sure what that is. I'm not sure if it's a weed or not. I'm gonna let it grow a little bit longer, but that's super fun. Over here, I have a really fun ground cover, y'all. It's called Plumbago ceratostigma. It is not your normal annual plumbago. This is hardy plumbago, and it is a perennial here in zone 8, and it is a ground cover. And so it has bright blue, true blue blooms in the summertime, and it was really heat tolerant last summer. It really survived a lot, and it was in a container and still just went really, really strong all summer long. And so I planted it here, and then I have another one that's planted there as well. And it's kind of, I can see that it's definitely starting to spread like a ground cover. So that's really exciting. Over here, I am supposed to have a white swan echinacea. It has not come up, whereas all of my other echinacea has come up. It has not. I'm kind of sad about that. I'm going to be keeping an eye out for that for sure. I have a coreopsis here, and that is putting on a lot of growth really quickly as well. This was an evergreen plant for me. It stayed green all through winter. It was not growing, but through our polar vortex freeze and all that kind of stuff, it stayed green. So that's kind of fun. Over here is my little lime hydrangea, putting on lots of growth. That's really exciting. I love this plant. Let's see. Coming over here, it's kind of flopped over because, like I said, I did have the irrigation running this morning, and it's still morning time, but this is another dianthus. And look how tall these stems are getting. It is getting ready to flower for me, but I can see it might need a little bit of, I have a peony cage that I might put over it to help it stabilize when it gets wet. Are those actual blooms right there that are buds? Yeah, I think those are actual buds that are starting there, if you can see it. So something really exciting is happening over here that I did not expect. I had a, let's see, it's either Carl Rosenfeld or Sarah Bernhardt. I forget which type it is, but it is a peony that is coming up. I have a little bit of clover coming up there. I can't believe this peony is coming up. It was definitely kind of a sunny location and not sheltered by anything last year. And it fried in the summertime. We had, you know, a record-breaking heat summer. So that's kind of not surprising. And there's 2 growths. Look! So there's 1 growth point, 2 growth points. This is just a stick, don't worry. But that's really exciting. I am gonna have to figure out some type of shelter for it, unless there's a summer carnival hibiscus right here. And what do you guys think? Do you think that it's alive? Because it really struggled when I transplanted it in the fall, and I'm not sure that it's alive. I hope that it just went into an early dormancy, but I really just cannot tell if it's going to come back or not. If it comes back, then I will have shade, an automatic shade for this wonderful peony. If it does not come back, then we're in trouble. I have to figure something out for this beautiful peony because it's gonna need some shade during the summer. I have a seedling coming up here. I don't know what it is. Please, if you know what it is, let me know. I'm gonna try like Google Lens or a plant ID app, but that's different than I remember ever seeing before. So who knows what that will be. I have Echinacea purpurea coming in right there. And then I have star jasmine that died back to the roots and is coming back as well. But kind of a fun thing, I call this the year of the vine because I'm growing annual vines this year to try and grow along this fence. And I am growing in seed trays. I am growing purple hyacinth bean, black-eyed Susan vine, and I am growing blue pickety morning glory. But when I was soaking the seeds for the purple hyacinth bean vine, which is something that the packet said to do, I soaked too many seeds. I didn't have room for them in the seed trays. So I had 10 seeds left over that I thought, well, I mean, they're going to die anyway. I may as well try to plant them along this fence line, which is where I want to put them. And 2 out of the 10 germinated. So I have one right there, and I have another one right over here. And please forgive all the clover that's trying to come in from the creek area, but there's purple hyacinth bean vine that survived some nights of like 37, 39 degree temperatures. So I'm surprised they germinated, but there they are. Here is an obelisk that I picked up from Facebook Marketplace for $10, and I'm going to grow clematis on either side of this obelisk. So come up here and I will show you. I have a Jackmani clematis right here, and I have an HF Young clematis right here. Believe it or not, these were bare root, $5.47 from Walmart, and they already had new growth coming in. I could see it through the bag, and one of them was even popping out through the bag. So I thought, oh, well, it's already growing. I'll just see if I can continue growing it. And it's doing great. They are loving life in these containers right here so far. So we don't have any more freezes in our forecast expected. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be planting these right down there, and their roots will be in the shade. Their leaves will be in the sun, and I think they're going to do really well in that location. So since I'm up here, I'll show you my containers that I have so far. These are tulips, and they are spent. I need to cut them off. I could save them. Tulips will not come back here for us here in North Texas, Zone 8. But if you allow the leaves to absorb all the sun that they can before they die, then you can go ahead and pop up the bulbs. You can place them in brown paper sacks, put them in a dark, cool area until late September of next year, and then you can put them in the fridge. I gave mine 12 weeks of refrigeration, and they did really, really well. Some people say they need at least 4 to 6 weeks is ideal, 4 to 8 weeks. I did 12. Anyway, whatever you want to do, whatever works for you, whatever time you decide to put them in the fridge, they need a cold period of at least 4 to 6 weeks in the fridge, and then you can plant them again for next winter, and they should come back. I don't think I'm going to do that for these that are in containers, because I need other things. I need to start planting other things in these containers. I have annual seeds and I have plans. So these are gonna come out really soon before the next garden tour, and I'll be having new plants growing in there. This is a strawberry pot that I got for free off of Facebook Marketplace. And I decided to plant some herbs. I decided to make an herb planter. So I have strawberries. Well, I guess they're not technically herbs. I already got a strawberry that I harvested yesterday, so that's pretty exciting. I've got more coming and more growth from the crown. I have peppermint, which smells just like peppermint. It smells so, so good. This is a vigorous plant already. That's crazy. I have, let's see, what was that? This is fennel, and so is this. Not doing great, but I'm keeping it alive. It was just transplanted, and I had to kind of break up the roots in order to shove it in that really small space. The poor thing is struggling, but that's expected because I really broke it up. This is lemon thyme. It's absolutely beautiful, and it smells like lemon. This is apple mint, which it's, I don't know if you could say it smells like apple. It smells like a mixture of apple and mint together. It's a really nice, very calming smell of mint. So that's fun. This is dill, which again, like my dill isn't doing very good. I had to break up the roots to get it into that small space again. So it's okay. And this is absolutely beautiful. I should have picked up more of this, but this is tricolor thyme, Wow, this is such a pretty plant. I could plant this in my garden and be super happy. If y'all have seen my garden tours, you know that I love variegated leaves, and especially tricolor variegated leaves. So I just absolutely love this. I have an oregano here, and then more dill down there. So nice little herb garden going on. Here, I have my desert rose back outside. I overwintered my desert rose inside. It kind of went semi-dormant, and it didn't fully lose all of its leaves, and it tried to flower on me. It just did not have enough light in my house to really produce those flowers. But already from a week of being out here, we'll see if they keep going, but I've got some buds forming on the tips of some of these, so it's doing pretty well. I did do a repot that I filmed, please watch that, but that's how I lifted this thing up and discovered that it's just this amazing bonsai sort of root ball that is just unbelievable. And this is from a cutting, which if you're familiar with desert rose and do a lot with that, the common knowledge in the desert rose community is that if you grow it from a cutting, then you will not get this beautiful massive root ball. And mine proved that theory incorrect, in my opinion. Maybe the root ball would have been more massive had this not been a cutting, I don't know. But how can you, I mean, this is amazing. It's so beautiful. And that's what you're supposed to do with desert rose. You're supposed to kind of every year or two, you're supposed to repot it no matter what. When you do, you can lift it up a couple inches and expose this beautiful root ball, and this plant thrives on that situation. So I'm putting it back outside. It's gonna love life. If you guys will watch one of my other videos when it was in its full glory, oh my goodness, this is an amazing, amazing plant. It's well worth the effort to overwinter it in my home. Highly recommend desert rose. Over here, I have just my strawberry planter. I had a couple strawberries that died in the heat last year, but I picked up some more at Atwood's. Really good price of strawberries at Atwood's, by the way. I think I paid 99 cents for these starters. And I've already gotten 2. I had 1 strawberry from this plant yesterday that I harvested as well. I forgot to take pictures, I'm sorry. We picked them and we ate them, and they were delicious. But yeah, I mean, 99 cents, 3 new, well, I bought 4 new ones. One's in the herb planter, but this will be a great strawberry planter. I have blue agave, which is not doing the best right now. It struggled, and I think it struggled this year where it thrived last year because I covered it in mulch during our polar vortex, and I didn't uncover it from mulch very well, and it did not like that. That's when it started losing its lower leaves and stuff. So no more covering this guy in mulch. He usually does fine out here in the winter, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. I need to get my pruners and prune these dead pieces off. I have a rosemary in a planter right here. I also have a crepe myrtle baby. Oh my gosh, is that a bud already on the crepe myrtle? I don't know, maybe not. Those might be buds. Let me see if I can get it to focus. It's really cool. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that is a bud right there. This was a seedling from my neighbor's crepe myrtle that I pulled from my side yard and planted in a container and kind of babied it last year, and it came back. So that's fun. This is the other container that matches the other one. This one was full of tulip bulbs too, and only a few made it. I'm not exactly sure why. I think somehow this container got too wet and they rotted. So that's my theory. But I'm gonna be pulling those up and planting some annuals there, and that will be fun. And then I have I got this for free. It was in a different pot and I repotted it, but this was in one of the pots that I got for free off of Facebook Marketplace. I don't know if you can see, but this is a tree and it's off of here now, but it had what I believe to be an old vitex bloom on it. So I do believe this is a baby vitex tree or chaste tree, and it has not leafed out yet, whereas the one in my front yard has. But I do believe it is alive. It's got buds on the nodes So I do think this will leaf out and it will be a baby vitex tree. I don't really have a use for a vitex tree. I will probably find a new home for it, but here it is for now. Since I'm up here showing you all of the containers and things that I have, I may as well show you what's in here, which is my little mini greenhouse. I have all my seedlings here. This was not a great seedling year for me, and I have a couple of theories why, but this is why I'm documenting. We don't always succeed as gardeners, even seasoned gardeners. I don't call myself like a really seasoned gardener. I've been gardening since 2020. So this is my 4th year, really kind of taking it seriously. But this year, seedlings didn't do great. I have some, you can see. I'm going to do a video about this, and I'm going to tell you why I don't think I was very successful this year doing my seedlings, but I did get some, and so I will take what I've got, and the rest, I do have seeds. I'll just direct sow a majority of what I wanted anyway, and I can do that starting probably now. So anyway, that's my seedlings. Stay tuned for a video about those. Over here I have a baby limelight from a cutting last year, and it's doing fantastic. I've also got a Cosmo seedling coming in here because I grew Cosmos in the area. So yeah, this is super fun. This is the container that I grew the cuttings in, that grew this. This is where it grew last year. So last year when I pruned my limelight hydrangea, I saved the cuttings. I let them harden off for probably a couple weeks, 1 to 2 weeks, and then I just stuck the cuttings into the planter and kind of just let them go. I kept the soil moist but not super wet, and made sure that it didn't dry out, that kind of thing. And then I grew, well, it grew all in this container with other like seeds that I planted here, and I separated it into 2 babies. One is here and one is planted in my landscape, and I'll show that to you in just a moment. But these are my little lime cuttings that I'm doing this year, that I saved the cuttings and then sticking them in soil. I'm gonna see if I will have success like I did last year. Hopefully so. So that's fun. The last of my containers are over here. This is a full shade portion of, I guess you could say, our garden, but it's not technically a garden bed yet. This is where we tried to grow our lawn, but always it will not grow here because this is absolute full shade. It does not really get any sun at any part of the day. So last year I decided in containers to try hostas, and I found them on clearance at Callaway's for $1 each. This is insane. I cannot believe I got that deal, because these 2 that are getting huge right here, these are proven winners hostas. This is Shadowland Diamond Lake. Oh my goodness, look at how beautiful this is coming in. I do not know if these are gonna completely fry in the summer or not, but they did come back from last year, so we are just gonna try them. And then this one is Shadowland? Yeah, Shadowland Woo La La. This is gonna be a massive hosta. If it takes and gets mature for me, it can get up to 60 inches tall. No, I'm sorry. It can get up to 60 inches wide and 48 inches tall. 4 feet tall for a hosta, y'all. This is their massive hosta, so, but it's just absolutely glorious. It's beautiful. I'm so excited to have these in these pots, and they're doing well, really well so far. I have 2 more over here, and these are a different brand. This is Blue Label, and this is Elabroic hosta, and it's coming in just not nearly as forcefully as the proven winners hostas. And then this one actually is coming in pretty well, but still further behind than the proven winners. This is again Blue Label. This is an Elegans Blue hosta, and this is a hosta that I've wanted to have for a while, like just that nice blue color. So I'm really excited about that one. And again, that came back. All of them came back from last year. I paid $1 each. What an investment. If they don't work this year, no big deal, because they were $1 each. So super excited about that. And now I'm going to take you back into the garden. Okay, so we're starting from where we left off, which is right here. I have a Texas sage that's somewhat defoliated from the winter. They do that for me in the winter time, but there's lots of new growth starting. So that's super fun. I have an echinacea. I think this is an echinacea Cheyenne Spirit down here. I'm not super certain. My neighbor Aida gave it to me, and it has those corally, pinky echinacea colors, and so it kind of matches best with the echinacea Cheyenne Spirit, which is beautiful. I have a little dianthus down there that, again, I think is going to flower here pretty soon. And then down there, that little tiny, what looks like a seedling, is actually Mystic Spire's blue salvia that I picked up on clearance last year. And it's the only thing that, well, okay, now I know why. I need to put in some snail bait, y'all. I have some snails and they're getting really populous, but this is definitely getting eaten by something. It's just not growing at the same rate as some other hostas, some other salvias that I have in the front yard. But it is coming in, so super fun. I have Burgundy Glow Ajuga growing underneath a Sunshine Ligustrum. I have 4 of them and they're coming in okay. They were just planted as little babies last year, and I think this one's gonna start blooming here. So that's great. I have a Sunshine Ligustrum that I guess I have to kind of go back so you can see it, but it is tree formed. I need to go back and prune back some of this down here, but it is tree formed and it is just unbelievable. Stayed this color all through the winter. Nice pop of color, and I love it so much. I have another dianthus here. I have another Texas sage that is much smaller. It has struggled in this location, no doubt, but still coming along. I had some daffodils here that are now spent. I had some tulips here that are now spent. And I have a limelight. It's one of the other babies from cuttings. This is my limelight, my other limelight baby. And this is how much the Sunshine Ligustrum has grown. I need to go in and prune it because otherwise this thing's gonna be completely shaded. I don't think it's gonna like that much. So it needs some sun for sure. So yeah, we need to get it some more sun and prune back this Sunshine Ligustrum. Either that or I'm gonna need to transplant it because this ligustrum is getting wider than I anticipated. I have 2 Echinacea purpurea coming in beautifully right here. And I have some canna lilies coming in here as well as on that side. Here is a water feature that my husband built. The water feature currently is not working. However, I love it as kind of a beautiful archway. That this is also what I'm going to be planting my vine seedlings down here. They'll be annuals, so they won't come back, but I'm gonna try it this year and see if I can get vines just growing all on the sides of this. It's gonna be beautiful. This is something I'm very excited about. It is a coral honeysuckle. Again, I purchased this on clearance last fall and I haven't been able to see it bloom yet. I hope that it blooms for me this year. It's somewhat of a baby, but it's putting on some massive growth and that will be super fun. I'm eventually gonna train it to go onto this fence and kind of cover the fence area back here. So that's fantastic. And then here I have Midnight Marvel hibiscus. Bright red flowers. It has not come back yet, which is to be expected. Over here I have Tangerine Beauty Crossvine, which I absolutely love. It is evergreen here in North Texas and it is getting ready to bloom like crazy. I keep saying this, but I'm expecting blooms any day now, especially on this one. They seem further along, so I'm really excited. They are full, just full of buds. And so this will pretty much very soon be covered in these coral yellow blooms, and just a fantastic plant. I just absolutely love that. And then we're gonna come along to my side yard. So here we go. I have a carex right here, which is just now starting to come to life. I have a pink skullcap right there. And I also have another peony. Again, it's either Carl Rosenfeld or Sarah Bernhardt. I get them mixed up and I don't know which is which, although I just know that this one is going to be a light pink bloom. The other one is going to be a dark pink bloom, if I can get it to be alive long enough to actually see it bloom. These were bare root peonies. This is their second year. So again, I probably won't see blooms this year. I hope to see blooms next year. Maybe this year if I'm really lucky, but I don't think so. Like, these guys struggle in the dead heat, and if I knew then what I know now, I would plant them in more shade. Almost full shade, because I think that's what they need here in the hot summers of North Texas. But it did come back. I'm very excited about that, and it's looking good so far, but it's not hot yet, so we shall see. Over here is very exciting. I have an amaryllis rapido that is from colorblends.com, and it has a bloom stalk starting, so I will definitely be able to see blooms. This is its first full year in the ground. I put it in the ground this time last year after it bloomed for me in Christmas time, and so I decided to try it in the landscape. It was kind of a risk because they are hardy to zone 8B, which we formerly were zone 8A. With the new updates, they say we're zone 8B. However, we had zone 7 temperatures at one point this winter, which is typical. So anyway, long story short, it came back even after zone 7 temperatures. And there you go. And it shot up a baby here. And I already shot up a baby last year, and I planted that baby there. That one does not have a bloom stalk, but Mama does. And I think I see no, that's not another bloom stalk. It's just another leaf. No, there's another bloom stalk right down there. That is so fun. Okay, so here's a boxwood that, you know, I just ran irrigation this morning, so I'm just now seeing that it's flopping. Okay, I'm gonna give this guy a prune, but that's interesting. Okay, it's very wet back here. I may have to do some type of irrigation change back here. It has overhead sprinklers, and I would love for this to be drip irrigation. I think it's much better. But anyway, story for another day. I have purple heart coming up here, all along here. I have a daylily that is pretty coral flowers. I have a white hibiscus, hardy hibiscus there. I have some Vinca major, variegated Vinca major ground cover here. And then I have 6 hydrangeas, endless summer, that are growing here. I'm gonna need to I am late on fertilizing these guys, and they really need it. They're starting to get chlorosis already. Not enough iron intake. That's either because the soil is not acidic enough to intake the iron, or it's because it's just a lack of nutrients. So I'm gonna try the fertilizer first, and then if that doesn't work, then I'm gonna go in with soil acidifier and then chelated iron to give it all of the stuff that it will possibly need. So they're coming in really nicely. And back here, the interesting part, this is a very interesting side yard, by the way. This portion of the side yard right here, right there, starting with the hardy hibiscus, all the way there is a part shade location. It gets morning sun and then the rest of the afternoon in the shade. This would be the same, except for I have a large crepe myrtle tree here, so when it leaves out, these guys are just dappled shade all day long, which they seem to be fine with. So this is almost full shade or dappled shade all day. And then over here is another part shade location. So this actually gets sun from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., kind of a midday sun, so that's a little bit difficult. But it is definitely part shade, and so I'm gonna try, you know, various plants here and see what works. This is the first first year for this garden bed, but I have more daylilies that are coral color that are here. I have a pink Turk's cap here that has not come back to life yet. I have it. Oh, so excited about this. I have a dwarf Alice in Wonderland oak leaf hydrangea. First year in the ground, so very excited about this. It's doing great, absolutely great. And then I have a kaleidoscope abelia here. I had a red oxalis planted there. It has not come back. I don't think it's going to, but I think I'm going to prune that abelia. It's just looking a little scraggly for me. I'm going to prune it hard, I think. And then I have a Mexican petunia right there that has not come back yet either. So that is the completion of my March 2024 backyard garden tour. I thank you all so very much for watching, and please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It is free to subscribe, and what that does is it notifies you every time I put out a new video. I will be doing monthly garden tours, both for my front and my backyard, as well as some garden maintenance videos and just all around gardening videos in general all throughout the year. And I absolutely appreciate each and every one of you who has subscribed, because you are helping me to make more and more videos, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. So I hope you all have a fantastic day. Enjoy this spring weather wherever you are. Hopefully you're getting or starting to get some spring weather and some new growth in your garden. And I wish you the best. Bye-bye, everybody.